Hello. Today for our craft we are making a lotus flower candle holder. So there's my candle holder. So all we need for this craft is your clay in the container, and I forgot to put on the list, but you should have a candle in your bag as well. And if you want to, before it dries, carve your name into the bottom, you could have a toothpick or a sharp pencil or something that can carve your name. Or after it dries, you can write it with a pen or marker. So that's all we need. So we are going to first pull out our clay. Now we want to make 10 balls out of this that are about the same size. So if you can do that on your own, go ahead. I'm going to walk you through how I did it. So I first separated mine into about 2 equal pieces, and then I'm going to make 5 balls out of each of these, and this just helped me get them a little more even. So then I put 1/2 down for a moment. With the other one, I separated them not quite in half, have one side just a bit bigger than the other. I'll set the bigger one down. So now you should have your half there, a medium size, and a little bit smaller. With the smallest one, I'm going to break that into 2. Set those down. With that medium sized one, I'm going to break that into 3, hopefully kind of even chunks. So now I should have 5 chunks, and then I should still have my other half. So I'm going to do the same thing with that one. I'm going to break it into not quite half. One side's going to be a bit bigger. With a smaller one, I'm going to break that into half. And with the slightly bigger one, I'm going to break that into 3. So you should end up with 10 chunks here. So the next step is going to be to roll them each into a ball or an egg. Doesn't have to be anywhere near perfect. You just want to get rid of all these jagged edges that I have from when I broke them apart, because we're going to smash them into petal shapes, and if they have those jagged edges, you'll have jagged petals. So I'm going to get all 10 of mine into balls here, and for my petal shapes, I am going to, for me, and you can do this however you want, I used kind of the inside of my thumb, my palm on my thumb end there, and smushed those. Now you don't want to get them too flat because we're going to need to keep smushing our petals down more. So if they're too flat to begin with, they'll just disappear. So I've got mine, if you know what an oyster cracker is, one of those soup crackers, I've got mine about that thick, kind of rounded. Okay, now I'm going to take that flattened one and I'm going to pinch the top, and then I'm going to kind of pinch it back here on the sides, and the goal is to make it like a raindrop shape or a teardrop shape. And that is one of my petals. Like I said, we're going to keep flattening these a bit as we put them together, so it's okay if it's still a little rounded. Now we're going to do that with all 10 of our balls. So you've got it into a ball, you're going to flatten, then we're going to pinch at the top and make it into a teardrop or raindrop shape here. And just keep doing that. And I'm going to get 5 of mine done so that I can show you how to put the first layer together. We've got 3, And these, as I always say, do not have to be anywhere near perfect. In fact, they're flower petals, so they can all be slightly different sizes, shapes, thicknesses, but you know, about the same. Okay, I've got 5. So the next step is I'm going to start, and this may be easier on a table, and just a warning, this clay, if like I did it on my wood table, it leaves residue, it leaves a bit of a mess. So if you have maybe plastic, if you're going to do it on a table. Now I'm going to hold it up and show you just so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I am overlapping these a bit and then smushing them together just enough so that they stick. And I'm going to do this in, watch me do it before you get started. I'm going to do this in like a wreath shape here, circled around, but I want to leave a circle, a hole, in the middle. Now the reason I want to do that is because I'm going to want to set it in here to dry, and if I don't have a circle in the middle, I know that it's going to be a little bit too small to fit in there. So it's still not as big as it's going to be. So when you've got the circle in the middle, and after you have it together like that, you can start kind of working it, flattening it a little bit more, and sort of fill in that circle, just like you would with Play-Doh. And see, I started working it and mine started ripping. That's fine. I'm just going to kind of push it back together. Okay, now I've got something that looks like a star. So that is my first layer. The next step is to add your next layer. So you should have 5 more circles left. So same thing, they should be in petal shape. You've probably already done all 10 of yours. I have not. So with my teardrop petal, I'm going to choose which side's going to be the back, and I'm going to put this so that you can see it between the other petals. And again, I'm going to smash it down a bit just so that it sticks, and I'm going to do all 5 of those between each of the petals. And by the time I keep kind of working and smashing, and I don't want it too thin, oh, I didn't actually fill in my hole. It'll fill in as I keep going here. I don't want it too thin in the center, so make sure you're not smashing it too much. I'm going to get all 5 all the way around, and then, and after you kind of work it and make sure your hole's filled in, then would be the time to carve your name into the bottom of it if you want. And mine's not quite done, but you can see this is what the top part, the 3 are filled in here. So this is my original row, I just haven't done the bottom 2 right there. So after you've written your name, if you want, it should still be flat. So set it on your hand so that the bottom is facing up. Then you're going to take your plastic container and you're going to gently set it on there and kind of make sure it's in the middle, and flip it over, and maybe ever so carefully push the petals up, because you're wanting your petals to curl up. And then I even set my candle in there to let it dry that way. And I'm going to leave it for a day. So I will check on this again. I'm going to add my last 2 petals, but I would check on this again tomorrow at the same time that I did it today. So leave it for a full 24 hours for it to dry. And then if you want, you can paint it, decorate it, or you can just leave it white. And that will be your lotus flower candle holder. There you go. All right, let me know how it turns out.